Today is Wednesday, and for those people who are very worried, suffering from anxiety because of all the purveyors of doom, because 2 hurling matches were played on a Saturday and some football matches were played on a Sunday, just to let you know that the world is still spinning on its axis as usual. So it looks like the fears of the hurling cognoscenti haven't been realised. It's great to see people like Donal, the Lorax, Og Cusack, I Speak for the Hurls, talking passionately about hurling. Also various other representatives of the sure look at above in Croke Park, a few belts and all the other cliches. They're worried about hurling, but of course for them hurling is a game that is played by a select number of counties in Munster, not including Kerry by the way, and a select number of counties in Leinster and Galway. If you hurl above that Galway-Dublin line, these people don't care. They would like to see the sport in that particular geographical locale rounded up and packaged up as some sort of Team Ulster. That way it could be just forgotten about. You wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. The reality is that these people these Loraxes of hurling, they don't complain whenever the Joe McDonagh Cup gets no television coverage, or the Christie Ring, or any of the smaller competitions. They're only interested in the high-octane, spectacular game that's played at the highest level, that has been allowed to develop pretty much unrefereed, pretty much lawless, pretty much now a game that most counties can't actually aspire to play because of the way it's played and refereed and the way it's coached. But hey, look at above in Croke Park, sure, man gets a few belts, and you know, this kind of mystical Devilarian kind of hurling is the purest form of Irish manhood, you know, especially if played in one of the chosen counties. Give me a fucking break, lads. Hurling hasn't seen any major progress or investment in years. And that's a fact. Look at the roll call of winners. Limerick have made a breakthrough, put together a series of All-Irelands based on coaching innovation and absolute taking the game to the limit of the rules and beyond. But what promotion has there been for hurling? What development plan? There was some money thrown at Antrim, but it was nowhere near enough. And why is Antrim deserving of money when other counties in Ulster have people just as passionate but don't get any injection of funding or initiative? So save us the faux outrage about hurling matches being played on Saturday. If you really care about the game, lobby Croke Park and Jarlath Burns and Tom Ryan to see what the development plan is for the national game over the next 10, 15, 20 years. What's hurling going to be like in 2050? What's it going to be like in 2035? Some of these people promoted a version of the game played on the pitch the size of a soccer pitch, with like soccer goals, with a different ball, different rules. That's all very well. But you know, there's people at home who play the game the way it's supposed to be played, that's detailed in our rulebook, not the Mickey-uppy game that somebody bored decided to scratch out on their office notepad. So If you really want to get behind hurling lads down there in the look at sure above in Croke Park, oh, he got a few belts and sure, isn't it great? If you really want to get behind the game, take a look at it all over the county, all over the country, all over Ireland. You know, in America, there's a thing called the Horatio Alger myth, and it is a myth that anybody in America, in theory, could go from the log cabin to the White House. In Ireland, you couldn't go from any housing estate in Ireland to Croke Park or Park y Queeve or Thurles or the Gaelic grounds if you're from a lesser hurling county, because the people who are so-called guardians of the game don't care about people in those counties. They just don't care. They talk shit and patronise us and come up and throw out the odd medal and maybe have to get paid for that. Well, I have respect for people like Darren Gleeson, who's nailed his, colours to the mast and has actually made a difference in Antrim. But some of the rest of these boys should be embarrassed about the shit you talk. Your full outrage. It's a disgrace and an embarrassment. That's today's outrage from me.